Yeah, first off, second signing day period for us. I believe we have, four additions right now. Still waiting on one that's going to come through. Two really good linebackers. Linebacker Brent Washington right there from Rockmart High School. Linebacker Jacoby Jones from Mary Persons. Signed a quarterback DJ Murray out of Mainland High School in Florida. And then Avery McFadden's a guy that we didn't announce actually earlier because he wanted to wait until the second signing period to kind of have his day. So Avery McFadden out of South Carolina, out of Hillcrest High School. Going to add one more today. Still waiting just on the NLI, and that should be coming through pretty soon. Going to be an addition to our defensive line, which will be a big addition for us. Really excited about adding those guys to an already big class that we have. With this day and age of the portal and the high school recruiting, it's ever changing. But I feel like we've made huge strides. The needs that we identified with our football program have been met, and now it's up to go out and develop these young men and get them where they need to be. I really would like to just read off the names of all our newcomers, if I could, because to be honest with you, sometimes you lose track of them all if you're a fan or whatnot. So I'm just going to go through those guys really quickly, and then we'll go from there. Starting off with C.J. Beasley, running back right there, transfer from Coastal Carolina. Vic Brown right there, defensive end from Louisville, out of Loganville, Georgia, Grayson High School. Jaron Gilmore, cornerback, Tennessee Tech. Dominique Johnson, O-line, high school, of course, Trinity Catholic out of Ocala, Florida. Kyrie Mason, offensive tackle, St. John's Catholic High School, Monmouth College. Austin McGee from Athens Academy. He's a cornerback for us. Jules Ney from Raven Gap, O-line. Ricardo Tarver, wide receiver, Houston County. Dominique Thomas, running back, transfer from Clemson. Lane Waddle, tight end, Greenville Central. Deuce Walker, Salisbury, North Carolina, Salisbury High School. Can play both wide receiver and defensive back for us. Dynamic athlete. And then Demaine Wilson, linebacker, Pompano Beach, Florida, Coconut Creek High School. Transfers that we have right here, Joshua Black, O-line from Louisville. DeQuarius Brown, Big Mike right there from Newberry College, offensive tackle. We have Zach Gibson, quarterback from Georgia Tech. Jacoby Jones right there from Mary Persons, like I said, Avery McFadden. Derry Maxey, the third, from Coastal Carolina. He's a safety for us. KD McDaniel from Tift County, UCF, Central Florida. Talked about DJ already. Martez Thrower, he's a linebacker from Kentucky. And then Kenyatta Watson from Georgia Tech. He's a cornerback for us. So big signing class, a lot of needs met. Still a few more additions that we're going to have. Like I said, in this day and age, you never know what could happen. So we're looking to add to another round, probably coming in May, a few guys. So exciting time. You staying busy. Recruiting never ends. It used to never end. Now it never ends. So we're just still doing our best to, handle the roster and add the needs that we desperately need.
How has the challenge evolved over the last few years of building and maintaining a roster?
I don't know if anybody kind of handles the challenges of it. You kind of have to sit back and see what happens. We had two additions or two subtractions of our roster go in, 3 weeks after school started here in the second semester, which is, it's hard because you think you have your roster set, and then all of a sudden 3 weeks into the semester, two young men walk in and leave your football program, and now you have to go, hey, now we've got to add two more guys. And so you start the whole process over of identifying and looking for the positions of need, and then that just leads towards your May signing period, the next transfer portal. It's a continuous process. If you don't stay on top of it, you would just get lost.
The transfers you bring in, you didn't bring them in to sit, did you? They came into play.
Everyone that we brought in as a transfer has an opportunity to play. And when I say play right away. Ultimately, that's what you have to do. It doesn't make any sense to bring in a transfer or whether it's a junior college player to sit You want them to come in here and have the ability to play for you and play right away. Otherwise, I would go out and sign every high school athlete I could. But that's not the case in recruiting now. You know, you lose huge positions on your roster. You have to replace them with experienced guys. Otherwise, you get lost and you have a lot of setbacks. You can't replace them with young guys. You got to replace with experience.
Was there one or two positions you feel you're really good about having addressed?
You know, I mean, every football coach feels like they've addressed each of their positions as well as they could. You know, it's hard to say right now until we go through spring practice. And, you know, spring practice is starting up next Tuesday. Once we get those guys in there, probably 6-7 days into it, we're going to know if we've done the right thing or not. I think if you look at our off-season workouts and what we've been through in January, we've really done a nice job, just like we did a year ago. We identified guys that love the game of football, they have passion to play the game of football, they like the work, they like the game. Is truly what you're looking for, and I think everyone that we brought in seems to fit that mold for us. And they've all played and had a good experience from their previous colleges.
The fact that you guys have been so successful getting to bowl games every year, has that helped you get into some of the state high schools, you know, around Georgia a little bit easier?
Let me tell you, anytime you have, I think we played on national TV 8 times a year ago, and then to top off the bowl game, I probably had more people talk to us about our bowl win than the previous 3 that we had, because it was in a dominating fashion. I think everybody understood that we had lost quite a bit of production off our football team, and then the way we went out and executed, they were like, "Coach, you know what? Y'all must be doing something right, because those guys just stepped in and almost." He said, "A lot of people said they look better than what you already had." I said, "Well, it did." And but yeah, you know, anytime you have a bowl win, you end on a successful note. That always helps. Yeah, you know, spring practice is always a development time period. You know, you get 15 opportunities to go out there. You know, it's an opportunity to identify the transfer that have come in. Are they able to step in there right away and kind of solidify positions that you felt like they could do? And then it's also a time to see those guys that played in that bowl game. Are they going to continue their progress and fight for those positions? It's a good problem to have. You know, kind of like our last bowl game. Even though we lost some of those guys leading up to it, it got some of those guys that were next year guys ready to play. And then they go out there and show, you know, just what they can provide, just what impact they can make on your football program. And that just boosted their offseason. You talk about confidence. You talk about a guy named, just take Alec Johnson, for example, playing starting center. I mean, he's a redshirt freshman, starting center. Goes out there and plays the entire game. I mean, just does a great job. Lamar Robinson, the right guard. We just had to finagle. I mean, Freddie Brock. I mean, Freddie Brock has, 6 carries on the year? He goes in, I think he has 20-plus carries for 276 yards. You don't think he's fired up for this season and to go into spring? And it was all across the board. So that, you know, that's what's fun about this. You see what you have, and then now we get a chance to go coach them up 15 more days and go compete.
Is this offseason, this spring, kind of mirror what you did last year, the same approach?
Yes. A little bit more difficult. And when you look back on last year's spring, we had I won't say a whole lot of changes need to be made, but there was a little bit more of the toughness had to be brought out of them, the mentality of not giving in. How we had done the previous year. Our football team is far beyond much better than what we were last year this time. When you look at our workouts, when you look at the things that we have done in the first month of this off season, they far and exceeded anything they did a year ago. That's incredible, because I thought they made huge strides last year. But, I mean, the things we're doing this year are just, they're blowing it out of the water.
So you're not having to start at 0.0 again. You're starting.
You never start at 0.0, but there's some things that you want to change, some things you want to fix, and I think our football program right now is sitting right where we need it to be.
You mentioned the offensive line, and how they kind of propel those guys forward. Is that suddenly a spot of strength on the team? You still got to see.
Yeah, you still got to see. Like I said, the bowl game was a good indication of what we do have coming up and coming back. We still have to progress. Our running back room went from really a single guy in that room in Freddie Brock, and now we've added 2 major running backs for that room. So we've just reloaded that area. I'm excited to see all those backs. I'm excited to see Freddie take the next step in his career and run with it. And then you got Beasley, you got Dom that just walked in here from Clemson, and they're 2 tremendous athletes, strong backs. Our tight end, Waddle, that we signed, he's going to be a special. I don't know. To be honest with you, I really don't know how he's here. I just want to be honest with you. But he's a big-time athlete. I mean, he's 6'4", he's 245 pounds. He can run, he can catch, he can compete. He does not look like a high school kid at all.
Well, tell me about the quarterback, because you went from having a guy who's been here for 3 years to now nobody that's been here. I guess nobody's taking a snap at quarterback that's on the roster.
All right. So, yeah, this spring will probably be the most interesting storyline behind the spring is going to be the quarterback position. We signed DJ, and then, of course, Zach's coming in here from Tech. So Braylon's got to step up, but that's going to be the storyline. The quarterback's always the storyline, and that's what we've got to see. That's where we've got to excel. That's where we've got to grow and develop, and we've got to improve the most on. But right now it's a huge open market right there. But we're going to go out and push them and see who's going to man that ship and take over the reins.
What did you like about Zach that you intrigued him got him to come to Georgia State?
Great leadership. And I think Zach's he's a guy that wants to work hard. I mean, he's a guy that's come in here and really taken over. It's hard to transfer in and become a leader right off the bat, but that's what he tried to do, and that's what he is doing now. He's an extremely hard worker. He's extremely very diligent in the meeting times. He wants to know any and everything. Honestly, he's a little bit annoying. He's coming around all the time. He's like, "Hey, coach, you got time for this?" And coach for night. But he's been a real plus added to it this offseason. We're doing this thing called Prowl Week right now, and I drafted him on my team, so he's with my team, and it's not easy to go through this week. It's a process where you test everything about yourself, and he's going through it and doing a really nice job.
Well, it seems like you guys always lose your best wide receiver, and you lost a few of those. Who's going to be the guy who's going to have a chance to step up and be the lead dog?
Great question. I think Stretch, Jakai's Cradle, it's time. It's time for him. You saw CT Thompson have a big bowl game. Those guys they're ready to go. They're ready to go. So, that's going to be another storyline to watch and see in the spring. We've got quite a few. Excuse me.
What are the questions or on defense that you want to look at this spring?
Excuse me. We lost a couple secondary guys. It seems like it's always the secondary position that's the most critical. But we do have to. We got to man some corner spots. We've got some transfers that come in that we feel like we've made really good decisions in that area. It's about them going out and kind of taking control. But we look at some of the guys that are coming back. Isaiah Guy is a guy that played really well for us, played really well in the bowl game. He's going to take another step. Jeremiah Johnson, that's already on our roster, that's been here, is now ready to take the next step. But I think the transfers coming in right there in that secondary position is something we're looking to find out who's the best of the best.
Is Swint ready to take a big step this year?
I think so. He had to go through all-season surgery on his elbow from the dislocation back in the season, but he should be fine, be back on track, come back in the summer, and be ready to go. think Kevin is probably one of the more dominant forces we have on our team from a mental standpoint and a physical standpoint. And I think he's going to have a tremendous year. Like I said, he's got to get over the injury just like we all do after a big, tough, long season. Even us coaches, we have those injuries during it. But Kevin's got a great mindset. He's been phenomenal since he stepped foot on campus, transferring from Clemson. Couldn't be more proud to have him on our football team and what he brings.
At least all your special teams guys are back.
Are they? Well, let's see. Yeah, except for our long snapper.
Oh, yeah.
Lost Seth, but Jack Bernstein, Jack stepped in 2 years ago and was the starter at the long snapper position. He's going to do a great job right there. He probably will give us a little bit better coverage on our punts. He'll man the short snaps as well. Liam Rickman, we've got several kickers that could do a great job. Isaac Coyne, McAllister, kickoffs, all those guys. We've got a stable of kickers. Cade coming back for his second year starting as the punter. We got to get it better in that area and be a little bit more efficient in punting the football and net punting. But I'm pleased that all those guys are back.
I know spring's a lot of hard work, but I think you enjoy it probably too, don't you? Find some way to enjoy.
I'm a coach, so anytime you can coach and you're on the field, that's the most enjoyable time of the year. To be honest with you, I mean that's really fun. I really enjoy working out with our team right now. I mean, I think that's they see me work out. They get to see me push and strain and struggle, and I get to see them do the exact same thing. And then we make growth as a team from a camaraderie standpoint. But I love just being on the field with our football team. I think last year, and you can probably ask anyone on our staff. Last year was one of the more fun times I've had in coaching. We just had a great team. They were fun to be around every single day. It was sometimes you get out there and practice is like pulling teeth, but it wasn't a year ago. We have that same kind of feel right now. Everyone has the enjoyment of going and doing what they need to do and getting better and pushing themselves, and that's a great feeling to have as a football coach. But that's just, hats off to our staff for getting the right guys in here.
Now, did you keep the whole staff, or did you have anybody leave?
Corey Peoples left and went to Georgia Tech just here in the last week.
He was the player to be named later.
What's that?
He was the player to be named later.
Oh.
What's that?
He was the player to be named later.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So he left and to go over to Georgia Tech. So we're in the process of making sure that's handled correctly.
You're going to change the whole playbook around now for the first game.
I don't think so. We're still going to do the exact same thing we do. We can invite them back over here for practice.
All right. Anything else?
No, I'm good.
All right. Thank you very much. It seems really awkward because, back 15 years ago, National Signing Day, especially on that first Wednesday in February, was the biggest day. I mean, you talk about it. I mean, just so exciting. Everybody was on edge. Everybody woke up at 5:30 in the morning. And it's not any less important, but some of the glitter has been taken off of it because of all the changes in college football. But for those young men that we signed today, we're thrilled to death. Just as happy as if they would have been signed in that first signing period. And we're glad they're coming to Georgia State.